offer liberal credit policy, and other basic negotiation terms like kung magkano ang discount, based on the quality of products, the free charges, the delivery, and insurance terms. So the negotiation process performs the filtering, and the company has identified the best suppliers. So seventh is mag-issue na siya ng purchase order. So the company, on approving the desired supplier, awards him the order by sending the official purchase order document. It confirms the supplier about the company's requirements and the deadline for the delivery of the products or services. So this will be confirmed by the supplier. Parang magkakaroon sila ng agreement which initiates when the supplier agrees to sell its products at the requested terms and conditions. So a confirmation of acceptance has to be sent by the supplier in written through post or email. So next is we have the supplier's duty. So confirmation and everything, diba? So it's the duty of the supplier to get the goods ready. So parang based sa law pa, diligence of a good father, ganun ganun. And ship the following, ship the items following the deadlines strictly, and keep the company informed about the order progress. So notification must be sent when goods are ready to be shipped, and a shipment notice, including valid documents specifying description of goods, including weight or units, delivery date, the location, etc. And then the 10th step, finally, malapit na. The 10th step is the inspection of delivery of the goods. So, kung ma-deliver na yung goods successfully, so kailangan pa siya mag-start ng inspection, which includes both quality and quantity checks. So, the condition and by how many, ganun. So, the purchase department checks if delivered goods are according to the purchase order. And then we have the invoice entry. So, unsuccessful inspection, fine, if everything fits, the purchasing department sends the approval to the accounts payable department to begin the payment process. So the accounts payable department will make a record of the invoice, which contains all the specifications about the payment, like the final date or a final date with discount, or the amount of reimbursement if meron, and other official details. So, ayun, lastly is the payment of the entity to the supplier. So, after every necessary check, the accounts payable department starts making payments to the supplier partially or fully as per company norms or by agreement. So, there are various ways to make payments to the suppliers, like, of course, cash payment, checks, or other negotiable instruments, online third-party transfer, credit card payment, payments in dollars or other foreign currency, or for some siguro barter payment, like paying some goods or services received, parang compared to or against to the goods or services received by the supplier. And then the third cycle, we have the human resources or payroll cycle. So the HR involves the acquisition of services from employees. So it also involves the payment for services acquired, and it affects accounts such as salaries or wages, which is the expense and payable accounts, both expense and payable accounts, the premiums, the withholding taxes, the inventoriable salaries or wages, which is also known as, or like parang based on my understanding, is the direct labor, and then of course the cash. So the departments involved now, first we have the user department. So the user department ensures that time records prepared by employees represent the actual hours worked. And then next we have the HR department. which is to ensure that employees are rendering the needed services to the entity. And then the payroll department is to provide reasonable assurance that payroll calculation is valid. And then we have the treasury department, which involves the disbursements, the reasonable assurance that all payroll disbursements are based on services rendered by the employees. And then the accounting department is for items related to payroll. And then they have to classify it and record it appropriately. So the paperwork involved includes the HR records. The HR records is also known as the personal records. So of course, this is done by the HR department, where it contains all information related to the entity's employees from the time they were hired up to the eventual termination. So it documents all actions taken by the employees or management in behalf of an employee. This is also where they document the salary rates, the deductions, and other payroll related information. And then next we have the DTR or the daily time record. So this is done by the user department where it describes the number of hours worked by an employee during a particular day covered by a pay period. And then next we have the payroll register. So the payroll register is from the payroll department where it shows all related payroll information such as the gross pay per employee and then all deductions and net pay for each period. And then we have the labor cost summary, which shows the payroll information which is capitalizable or can be attributed to a particular job. Yun yung parang kung saan ba doon yung labor cost or manufacturing overhead ba. So, can be attributed to a particular job or customer order made by the payroll department. And then next, we have the employee earnings record. So this is also made by the payroll department where it shows the cumulative year-to-date summary of earnings and deductions of every employee. And then lastly, of course, parang lahat ng cycles, no? Like, kailangan nila ng daily summaries. So, and then, ayun nga, daily summary summarizes the transactions recorded during the day by the three departments. So, the payroll department for liability recognition, the inventory control department for direct labor costs, and the treasury department for the payment of each employee. So, three departments ang daily summary pagdating sa HR. So, how does the human resource or payroll cycle work? So, ito daw yung cycle niya for the payroll and the benefits. So, these are the 7 basic activities daw performed. First is the, nakikita niyo ba? Okay. Mouse lang. Okay, first is to update the employee master data. So, updating the payroll master file. It includes changes such as